Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Shelly Wasso coming to you live from Chicago. Happy Wednesday. Social media overwhelm. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Who has social media overwhelm? Like if you're building a business online or you're like me and you have multiple income streams, right? So you work a full-time job on the computer and the phone all day, and then you have your other businesses, right? And you do those businesses online and it's like social media, your phone's attached to you, like, yeah, overwhelm. Who's got overwhelm? Social media overwhelm. So I am going to give you some tips on helping you overcome this. So first, or helping you feel more normal, right? Like you're not the only one in the boat feeling this social media overwhelm. So first, happy Wednesday. My name is Shelly Wasso. I'm a full-time corporate executive mama of two amazing boys, married to my high school sweetheart, and I am a multipreneur. So I help others create multiple income streams using online strategies to create your best life and a retire early plan, because I like to say, who doesn't want to retire early? So anyway, if we haven't met, it's nice to meet you. And if you're watching my live video, be sure to say hi. If you catch the replay, hashtag replay, let me know where you're coming in from. It's super cool for me to see who's watching. Social media overwhelm. So again, if you know me, I have my full-time corporate job and then I'm building businesses online and I love it, right? Fitting it into the pockets of my day, but we could be like, too much. So I'm going to give you some tips, and I preach multiple income streams. So it's definitely important and you can fit it all in and you can do it all, but there's boundaries. And so tip number one is to focus on one platform. So there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's now Clubhouse, there's TikTok, we have LinkedIn, YouTube. Like what do you focus on, right? And so many times when people are starting out building a business online, they get overwhelmed because there's so many platforms and they're all really good platforms and they all do different things. But the key is don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20, right? Because someone's chapter 20 means that maybe they're doing this full time, they've been doing it for 10 years, they have a team of people that are helping them, and it looks like they have it all together, but that's because they're in chapter 20. You're on chapter 1 or 2. So if you're just starting out in the online business, you need to pick one platform and master it. I've finally mastered Facebook, and when people look at me, they say, they look at me and they say, well, how are you doing this, or how are you so good at what you're doing, or how do you always show up? But the fact is if you knew me when I first started off, it took me a whole year before I really got comfortable, and I was kind of all over the place until I really just focused on Facebook. And now I'm getting more into Instagram and TikTok for different reasons, but you really need to focus on one platform at a time. It's not to say that you shouldn't be on multiple platforms, you should, but master one and then move on. Tip number 2, and go back to my tip number 1. We put so much time into all these platforms when really the platforms allow us to market ourselves and our business, but what's really important in any business is prospecting. And prospecting is what happens behind the scenes. It's actually talking to people, not just posting and praying or doing these videos and hoping somebody's going to reach out. You actually have to talk to humans, right? Outside of all these social media platforms. So the social media platforms are great for marketing, but we still have to allow ourselves time for prospecting, which is the fun part of this business, prospecting. So tip number 2, schedule your social media. This is so important, especially if you work full time. Like I work a lot of hours. And just had this conversation with somebody who said it might, and if you end up watching, she knows that my life was a bit crazier when my kids were younger. I did this business, had a physical diamond jewelry store, was working full-time when my kids were both in travel sports. Because people look at me now, my kids are older and it looks like things are easier, but I did do all the things back when they were younger, when they were in travel sports and we were gone every single weekend in different cities. And so scheduling your social media is so important, because waking up, I made this mistake also, and it took me a long time to do this, but I now schedule out a week at a time. I actually schedule a month. I have a planner. I schedule a month on what posts I'm actually doing, right? So if you have an online business, you know that you need to kind of mix up your posts, right? You're going to do live video, you're going to do engagement posts, you're going to do call to action posts, you're going to do some fun family posts. So I actually, by subject, do my month, and then by week, I do the detail, right? So I already had this planned out on Sunday. I already have my post for tomorrow, my engagement post planned out, because my week is done in detail. Because when I wake up in the morning, and what I used to do, like the last thing you want to do is wake up and be like, what am I going to post? I can't figure it out, and waste all your time on trying to figure out one dang post when you could have it done. Like, wake up and you already know what your post is. So then if you have an hour, right? So I try to have a power hour in the morning, right? I get up super early, workout, do my gratitude, do my online business before I start working. If you have your power hour and you already know what you're going to post, then that gives you time to do the other things, which are just as important, which is prospecting, warming up your newsfeed. It takes 10 or 15 minutes, right, to like and comment on other people's posts before you do your post. So if you it will change your life, I promise you, by scheduling out your social media. It will change your life, at least if you're a full-time working mom, or even if you work part-time and you're so involved with the kids. Scheduling it out means everything. Tip number 3. Actually, I'm gonna go back to tip number 2. I just did this with tip number 1. But give yourself a time limit too. I just said this. Instead of something else that took me time to figure out, and I talk about this with the other people that I work with. We talk about this all the time because we work full-time and do all of this in the pockets of our day. But if you don't schedule things in the pocket of your day, like say I'm gonna do an hour in the morning, I'm gonna do 15 minutes at lunch, and I'm gonna do a half hour in the evening, then your day is crazy. I always talk about having buckets of things that you have to do, right? You have to spend time with your children. You have to spend time with your husband. You have a bucket for work. You have a bucket for your online business. If you keep overlapping those buckets, then you get a little crazy, right? So if you could like schedule your time, then it helps also. Keep it simple. Being perfect on social media is not being authentic. If we're so worried about having the perfect picture with the perfect filter, aligned with the perfect words, and I'm not saying to just throw stuff out there, because I am very thoughtful in what I say and what I do on social media. In fact, that is what it has taken me a lot of time, because I do like to think through what I'm gonna say. And but keeping it simple, it keeps it authentic. And you don't have to have the perfect picture with all the filters and the right everything. Sometimes just being simple with a little bit of words means more than like telling your whole story. So the one thing, it actually it held me back at the beginning, because if you know my story, when I first started, like it took me literally a whole year before I could do a Facebook Live video. I was not a selfie taker, which I am now. I'm like huge. My kids are like, another selfie mom? Really? But at the beginning, that wasn't, I wasn't comfortable with it. So until you do it, and you'll get more comfortable with it, and it takes time. The key is to be simple, but be consistent. You have to be consistent, but keep it simple. And then tip number 4, don't forget to take a break. We need breaks. Read a book, take a walk. We're doing a walking challenge right now. We have a cool Wellness Warriors tribe. It's a group where we do fun challenges, and we're doing a walking challenge right now. So sometimes you gotta put the phone down, and that's okay, but take a walk. You just have to remind yourself, especially us moms, working moms with kids, and we're running all over the place all the time. We forget to remind ourselves that it's okay. We need to take a break. And to sum it all up, really, is you have to have a routine, and you have to be consistent, and you have to be organized. A routine, organized, consistency, and have fun. It's super fun. You can have fun adding other streams of business, like if you've followed my story or heard me, you know that I have other income streams, and they actually can fit into your life, and you can have fun with them if you're organized and have a routine, and you have to be consistent. You have to show up. So it's super important. So just have to learn the tricks, and you can definitely avoid the social media overwhelm if you can just follow a few of those things. So hopefully you found that to be valuable. And if you have any questions on how I keep myself organized, I love sharing and collaborating with other people. So you could always send me a private message, ask me what I do, what planner I do, how I schedule. Like I use Evernote to schedule my social media. So there's different tips and tricks. So feel free at any time ever to reach out to me. But have an awesome week. I hope you found that to be helpful, and happy Wednesday. Enjoy the weather.